All right, hey everyone, and welcome back to Be a Warrior podcast. I am obviously not where I normally am, out in California for a long weekend getaway at the end of the summer before kids went back to school and things like that. So here we are in California and having to hold my microphone because, as you can see behind me, we have a nice big road before the ocean. So I'm hoping you can hear me clearly and it's not too much of a reverb. But here we go. So I wanted to talk real quick about, and I'll make this a shorter podcast because of our location, but I wanted to talk about the realism of starting over with your prosthetic, because as much as I tell people that everything's feeling great and everything's going well, in some respects that is very, very true. And in other aspects, there are some seriously big bumps in the road and some issues. And this weekend was a complete I had a couple days there where it was almost unbearable with everything I was going through. So let me take you back a couple steps. This summer, I did a revision surgery and an EMI procedure on my residual limb. They had taken out a foreign object they found on a CT scan, and then also did a revision, cut some bone off, and then created the AMI procedure, where it basically they stitched my quads and my hamstrings together so that they could work together and actually build strength versus atrophy, which down the road, one will help with myoneural controlled knee movement, and second, it will stop me from losing all my tissue and becoming skin and bones, 20 years down the road, and making it almost impossible to wear prosthetics. So I was up for that, but more so because there was a foreign object in my body that had to get taken out. Fast forward now, it's been, I think, like 9 weeks. I can't even remember, but about 9 weeks, 8 or 9 weeks. And I am now fitted in my final socket. And when I say final socket, it isn't the test socket, which I did for like 3 weeks. I walked around in a very hard plastic shell on my leg, and I am a skin fit, so it was very painful at times, bruising me. But I am now in my regular one, which has a soft inner liner and then the outside casing. It isn't painted yet or anything like that. And I say final, but give me a couple of weeks and I might actually shrink more out of it because I still have swelling from the surgery. So all that being said, I picked up my socket on Thursday from my prosthetist office, and we left Friday for California. And there's no turning back. Once you have it on, you're in. And despite the fact that I was wearing a test socket for 3 weeks prior and getting it fine-tuned, I got a burning, rubbing rash on the back of my upper part of my socket, up by my butt, and it was so raw that it was hard to walk in. I also have points where the contact was hitting specific nerves that were giving me major nerve pain at night, just getting zinged in my foot. So that was really tough. Now you add into that, this has not been an easy trip. The very first night we got here, our puppy, who was a year and a half, got into something that made her look completely drugged out, and we had to take her to the emergency vet. And that was frightening right there in itself. So I was struggling with my fit. We had that going on. And I think the stress of all that situation gave me a stomach ache for the last 2 days. So between stomach pain and stress, phantom sensations that were exacerbated, an ill-fitting socket at the top where I was just rubbing raw, and worried about my dog, this has been quite a vacation. And then our kids just went back home, so they had to get back to work and get ready for school. So here we are, doing what we can do. But it's interesting because as I think back to it, a lot of the girls that I talk with are asking how my socket's fitting, and I'm like, it's awesome, I love it. And that's true. I mean, the first day I put it on, that's how it felt. But if I don't get it on correctly, then I end up struggling with pinching skin. Yesterday in the morning, it didn't go on totally well, and I had a raw mark all around the bottom portion of my limb, like the whole diameter of my limb, and it just burned. it burned so bad. Took it off, you could see a red mark, but you're like, there's no way that felt like that. But it was truly just a simple little, like, rope burn, so to speak, on the bottom of my limb. So as much as I say this, and then this comes back to the fact that, well, how does someone say that it fits well if that's how it feels? And it goes back to my thought of mindset, mind over matter. I'm walking, not walking well right now, but I'm walking, and that's important, and that's a positive. I won't take it off, despite the pain I had. I did not take it off yesterday or the day before, but I also did not put in the steps. So that was a small win, but in my eyes, kind of a defeat. But I take the win as I didn't give in to taking it off, and there were a couple times for the first time ever that I'm like, I just want to take it off. I'm on vacation and I'm uncomfortable. My stomach was hurting. Everything was blah. But even in the moments where you don't feel like you're doing what you think you need to be doing for your life, living well, living healthy, getting the steps in, sometimes you got to take the little victories and you have to just enjoy them for what they are. I know that we need to do some tweaking on this socket a little bit, and I already wrote to my prosthetist and gave him some updates on what it was that I was feeling, so I would remember it instead of trying to replay it. I wrote him right away while I was in the midst of the pain, and that way he knows exactly where I was hurting, when I was hurting, and how much it was hurting. But if I gave in every time it was hard or complained that it was hard, I would be doing myself a disservice. So you will never see me posting about all the pain I'm going through, or how much it hurts or doesn't feel comfortable. I don't like to do that. Number one, and mainly, because when I talk about the pain, it gives my pain power over me, and I do not like to do that. So if you're struggling with things like that, and it is painful, and I know some people that want to talk through their pain, but I will tell you, I've even had doctors tell me, don't give it power, don't talk about it. Obviously, there are times when you want to let your family know, your spouse know that you're struggling with something, but that is not a constant, you're not constantly reliving the pain and feeling it. You're just letting them know you're out of sorts right now, don't feel well, and it's just really painful and I'm hurting. But I don't get on and make posts about pain and everything. And it's not because I'm trying to hide that. It's just that I'm not going to give my pain power over me, and therefore you won't hear me talk about that. But that's why I thought with this podcast it was important to at least give some kind of recognition to how hard it is when you are transferring into a new socket and what things you have to go through to make it work. 2 nights ago, when I was kind of already hurting, I had to go back and we took a walk into town here, which is probably like a half a mile, but we had to do it really quick because we had a dinner reservation and we were hauling, and then walking back quickly to get back to this place because that's where the sun sets, and we had a beautiful sunset that night, so we were trying to haul back in time for the sunset. So after that, that's when it really got really pissed off at me because I was hitting the pavement really hard, really fast, and not letting it. But I did it, right? I walked it, I did it, I saw it, I had dinner with my family, I saw the sunset, didn't miss out on anything. But at what price, right? At what price? That night was horrible, it was miserable, like I said, plus I wasn't feeling well, and I think the stressors of my dog, who is fine now, by the way, I forgot to mention, she is back to her normal self and begging for food and alert. But those types of things can really change how you feel and deal with things. For example, when we talk about people that are stressed out about stuff in their life, we tend to see that there is an influx in phantom pain when you're stressed out about something. And sometimes it's stressed out about the amputation itself, the leg itself, the waiting, the pain, the surgery, the wound care. It could be anything related to the amputation, but don't discount the fact that when you have stress in your relationship, stress at work, stress in the home, those kinds of things will also I believe will trigger stronger phantom pains. So I am walking proof of that this weekend because I know that I shouldn't be feeling the way I feel, especially with a socket that's fitting well. But I think I was so stressed out that I never get that stressed where I get a stomach ache. But I was so stressed out for my dog. This is the second time she's done something stupid, and it's made her have to go to an ER and get IV fluids and check heart rates and stuff. So I know that there's some stuff there that actually triggered my phantom pains. So I know that that's going on. Today I'm in my socket. I'm doing well. Um, Again, like I said, sorry, I hope you can hear me well with this. I know the YouTube channel video will be better because I'm using the microphone that cuts out noise, so you may want to watch me there. Plus, you get to see a beautiful scenery back behind me. Um, but I just wanted to get on because I think it's invaluable that even when I tell you that I have a great fitting socket and a prosthetist that fits me well, that it's not always that easy. Um, I take on a big portion of that control to myself, and that means that once he's made what he thinks is as good as it gets, then I have to work through some of the kinks. And some of it is getting my skin situated and dealing with it. And it's not that it calluses, but when you have sensitive skin up in your groin area and your buttocks, um, they get rubbed raw really fast, really easy. And it's very easy to take off your socket and give up. And all I can say is don't, because it does get better. It has always gotten better for me. So I'm telling myself this: don't give up, because it will change. It will get better as you work through it. Now, how do you walk in it when it hurts so bad? For me, all I do is I use a little bit of Aquifer. I keep it with me in my leg bag and in my purse when I'm on vacation, and I rub it where it's been raw, and I give it allows it to have some lubing, so there's no traction and some friction going on there, because it's the friction that's causing the pain, right? It's the friction that's causing the rawness. So you do that, and then at night when you go to bed, use the Aquifer again and rub that area to keep it, soft, and it starts to heal and feels better. But it's truly a game of give and take. It's knowing what your body can handle, and knowing that what you're going through is actually just a part of getting used to where this new socket is hitting. That's different than the old socket. But then you also have to know on the flip side, where can he or she, your prosthetist, make it better for you, because it's really a fit issue. I know that I will tell him those things, and even though I'm getting used to it little by little, he will make some adjustments to where it's rubbing, like bowing it out a little bit more or whatever to help me. But a lot of that is just using, and getting used to it so that you can actually just deal with that. And it actually gets your skin used to that feel. But in the long run, the big game, the big picture is, this is my life, right? And so this is something that I chose by electing amputation. I know that it's a rough road, but there are going to be some times when, like this weekend, I didn't do as much as I wanted to do, and that's okay. I have, as you can see, a beautiful view from our patio here. I just have been sitting out here and enjoying the ocean waves and enjoying the sea breeze, and that's what my hair is making my nose itch this whole time. Um, but sometimes you just got to take the wins when they come, and take the step backs as a moment to collect yourself, realign what you need to do here and now. And for me, a lot of times it's given me some grace to accept what I can't do at this moment. But I didn't give up. I didn't take my leg off. I kept it on. I put it on every morning. I took it off every night despite the pain. And I just adapted to what I could do. So yes, it's a great fit. Yes, it's nice. I'm glad I'm walking again so early. I have an appointment back in Boston in September, and they said they weren't even sure if I'd have my socket or be walking yet. And I've been walking for 4 weeks. So yes, I'm ready to go, and I know I'm ahead of the game, which makes me happy. And of course, I want a miracle cure, and I want it to be perfect, but it's not always going to be like that. So you take the good with the bad, take everything in stride, and actually just do the best you can with what you're given. Again, like I said, I go back Wednesday to my prosthetist, and when he takes a look at it, I will tell him the points that are really bothering me, and we'll make some adjustments. I'll try it back on before he goes to painting it. That way I know it's where it needs to be before he does all that work. So I hope that this kind of helps shed some light on why it seems like I say that everything's great, but literally this was a horrible weekend when it comes to the way I felt in my socket. But that's just, I think, normal for me. Like, I think that I spend a lot more time just kind of suppressing what things don't feel great because I'd rather live my life on the two legs I have right now than not live and just sit there and wallow in pain or self pity. So here I am. I'm enjoying this. I am one lucky girl to be sitting here by the beach. I love the ocean. The water is so healing and so beautiful, and I'm so grateful that we live close enough to the ocean that we can drive. And I just hope that maybe this sheds some light. So if you're struggling with pain or you're struggling with your fit for your prosthetic, please know that everybody goes through that. Even those that look like they're just rocking it, we all have issues day to day, hour to hour sometimes, especially when it's a new socket. So don't give up, but also don't give that pain power. Don't let it run your life. Don't let it ruin your life. Deserve so much more than that. But know that you take what wins you can with when you have them. And for me, the win is constantly putting it on despite the pain and actually enjoying this vacation and looking past the pain to enjoy what I have in front of me, because I surely don't want to get home this week and go, I missed out on everything. I didn't miss out on everything. This is a beautiful view, and I'm very fortunate to be where I'm at despite the pain. So I hope you have a good rest of your week. I hope that this resonates with you somehow, and that maybe it helps you get past some of the hard times you're going through. And as always, I hope it's a blessed week. Be healthy, be happy, be you.